feeling in your heart. It'll teach you, train you, transform you. If you let it in, it'll cover you and carry you, turn you away from sin. If you wanna be like Jesus and live like he lived, you gotta read the Bible and do what he did. Speak the word. If you're tired of being in the situation you're in, speak the word. If you're sick in your body and you're ready to be healed, speak the word. If the way you're thinking has really got to change, speak the word. Cause the power of life and death is in what you say. The word of God is your weapon. Use it to fight and win. Speak the word. You gotta speak the word. Oh yeah.
The word of God is power, sharper than a sword. It knows your thoughts, you're thinking, and what you're feeling in your heart. It'll teach you, train you, transform you. If you let it in, it'll cover you and carry you, turn you away from sin. If you wanna be like Jesus and live like he lived, you gotta read the Bible and do what he did.
Speak the word.
To remind yourself God gave you authority.
Speak the word.
To renew in your mind, to keep the devil under your feet. To leave the past behind and be who God called you to be.
Speak the word.
Cause it's alive and it revives everything. The word of God is the truth and the light, and it'll make you free. Speak the word. You gotta speak the word, yeah.
Speak the word. To remind yourself God gave you authority. Speak the word. To renew your mind and keep the devil under your feet. Speak the word. To leave the past behind and be who God called you to be. Speak the word. Cause it's alive and it revives everything. The word of God is the truth and the light, and it'll make you free. Speak the word. You gotta speak the word. Yeah. Jesus loves you and he saves you. When you're in Christ, you're never the same.
Let him change your nature. Let him make it right.
Speak the word.
As you
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwinnett, Westbrook, and Mr. Dumas.
Good evening, and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host, along with President WESTBROOKS, and we have special guests that we'll be introducing in just a moment. I hope you're having a great evening. We're a little late coming on the show, but, just a little late. So I hope you haven't waited too long. This weekend, we've had some wonderful weather that we've been dealing with, even today. Some high winds, though it seems like March instead of May. Yeah. We got a lot of stuff going on. That's kind of unusual. I understand in Florida they had a bad tornado in South Florida, so hopefully we won't be bracing for anything like that.
That's probably where some of this rain and cold weather is coming from. We always get the
after effects of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So today we have a special guest that's joining us, and I'm going to let President WESTBROOKS introduce her and talk about some of the things that she's involved in and some of the things to look for in the community.
Yes. And our special guest today is Miss Patricia Duncans. She is the owner of Alice Place Adult Daycare. And she is the CEO of Wonderland International Training School. Also, that's something that she recently, I remember seeing it on Facebook, where she had, and I, something was going on. I was not able to get there, but she had the grand opening, and so, all the pictures and everything was on Facebook. So, we just want to embrace our Black businesses,
Absolutely,
and promote them as much as we can, because the things that she's offering here is very crucial to our community, especially when you have people that are up in age. A lot of times our elderlies and our disabled are so often left out. They're not getting the proper care that they should be getting, sometimes even at home, even by family members. So we are so grateful for her for having the vision to open these types of businesses. So we're gonna bring her in. She's been with us before, just not
No, we can hear you.
Okay. She's been with us before, and I think the last presentation she did with us, it was on autism. Was it on autism?
Alzheimer's.
Yes, it was on Alzheimer's. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is just a coincidence. I had on the same dress.
Oh wow!
It's been about 2-3 years ago.
I remember
when she did this the presentation, and I had the same dress on. So
I didn't notice that.
Well, you know what? When I got here and I saw you coming in, and I was like, you know what? I had the same dress on when Patricia was here last time.
And I think I'm wearing the Alzheimer's colors.
You sure are.
And not been knowing that she'd absolutely be representing them. So
we want to bring her on to for her to share some of the things that she offers and whatever else she wants to talk about. Because we do need to patronize her, and then she's been doing this a long time. She can, give you her background, where she actually started from. So she's ready, you all.
Absolutely.
Okay, Miss Duncan, we're gonna give you the floor.
Okay, thank you guys for having me here, folks. I am Patricia Duncan. I am a registered nurse. This is my 30th year that I've been an RN.
Wow!
And so. You can tell I've been doing little bit of everything, but my passion has been the elderly and disabled. I think I started that very, very young, at probably the age of 10 to 12. My parents sang in a gospel group, and we used to go in nursing homes. And so I was one that would go and grab them by the hand and bring them down to the cafeteria because, I just was not scared. But
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of got me there and some other things. But I am back doing some things for myself. I've worked in long-term care. I've worked at the hospital in cardiac nursing. I was just doing, well, I'm actually still on road for an infusion clinic here with Dr. Ruben Ellis. So I worked for
Wow.
him, had to give him some shout out too. I worked for him for over 5 years doing infusions. And so, but we're back. We've been closed. Our adult day has been closed for 3 years. We closed March 16th, 2020. But to the grace of God, we are back open. We just did a huge renovation. If you come,
Right.
we're
I
on
saw that. I saw that.
Wow.
over on Napier Avenue. We just did a huge renovation. Thanks to, I tell you, God did it because I didn't get PPP, so it was God. So,
Makes a
but
difference.
we are thankful that we are back. We're up and running. Got a lot of space for our, we know we needed to try to gut it out so we can have space because we know COVID hadn't gone anywhere.
Right.
Right.
But it's just, we want to still be careful. So we have a lot of space. So we are actually back open. Our day program consists of our people coming in around the 8 o'clock hour. They get breakfast. We have devotion at 9, and then from 9:45 to 12:30 or so, they're doing activities, and we have speakers come in. So, just letting them know about things that come into the community because we don't bring our people out, so we bring the community to them.
Right. Right.
And so, and then about the 12:30 hour, they get to eat before they leave. And a lot of times, not only do they eat, they take some with them. I have some that always gonna
Gonna
say,
say-
"Is there some left over?"
You got
Wow.
me to go plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we just having a lot of fun, and it's like I said, thankful to my husband who has bared with me through all
Yes.
of this, Mr. Duncan, because it has been a road. But we just thank God that we are back. We're back, and we're taking new clients. We do see a lot of clients that have dementia. Just like you had said just then, we have people that drop them off. Maybe you got to go, to the store, or and maybe that you need rest during the day
Right.
because a lot of
Rest
times
yourself.
these
Right.
people they stay up all night.
Right.
And so a lot of these people, they need to, get these people out and, doing something and get themselves some rest because a lot of times if they don't get rest,
They get
sometimes
sick.
they get sick and they
Right.
leave before the person they're
Yeah.
taking care of. So that's what we are for. We do take we are a Medicaid provider, so we take the CCSP and source. We take private pay, VA, long-term care insurance. So we do have some more spaces if people want to. We got people, that doing the paperwork to get in there, but we
Right.
do have a few more spaces. So if folks want to call us up, we do. Right now, we are not taking people who are in wheelchairs and can't get up
Right.
because we
Right.
don't have the space. But if the good Lord's will, we want to put about another 1,000 square foot back there, and then we're gonna actually have a changing tape and all
Right.
that stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
So, but as far as incontinency, we can take care of that if they are able to get to the bathroom. We have people to help them. The most important things, we have a nurse there. So there's a nurse there. We are adult day health. So we are not adult day care.
Right.
We have to have a nurse there. So there's a nurse there, and we take care of appointments. We take care of, if your leg's looking funny and we want to call the doctor, or if your blood pressure up, so what we are doing is trying to help the physicians so that these
Right.
people can stay in their homes longer,
Right.
so they won't have to go to long-term care facilities and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And so, that's what I think a lot of times people get different. They think, oh, they just come there and they do, play games. No, we're looking at things and we're watching stuff. They're
Right.
there 5 days a week, so we should be able to catch some things. I had a gentleman, he's been with us about 5 years, and he came there and was with some complaints, and the complaints kind of looked kind of funny. And I was like, well, maybe you got this, maybe you got that. But come to find out, he was a new diabetic. And
Right.
he left our facility that day and went straight to the hospital. So those are the things that we're doing. So we
Right.
communicate with the physicians. If the physician has to say that these people are capable of being an adult day program. And so, but we do, communicate with these physicians about these people, nurse practitioners and whoever.
Yeah. And so let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Is it a certain time that you all close or
Okay, so we're okay. It
are you
depends on the. A lot of the people come around 8ish and they leave about 1:30.
okay?
But then there are some people that they have to work and these people need to stay longer. We are able to do that for them as well. So
Okay.
we do have clients that come in, and they have to stay a little later because their family member is still at work and
Right.
they pick them up on their way home.
And there's some good information because
Mhm.
people need to know that because like we were
Mhm.
saying um earlier, people get burned out
Mhm.
trying to
Oh yeah.
trying
Yes.
to take and I can remember when my mom fell and broke her leg and
Mhm.
it didn't matter what it took because I was going to
Right.
take care of my
Right.
mom,
Yeah.
but I just can remember
Mhm.
uh when I would get off from work,
Mhm.
I would go to her house, make sure it'd be like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning when I would get home,
Absolutely.
making sure that everything that
Mhm.
she was straight before I would
Right.
leave, and then same routine,
Mhm.
go to work and then come back,
Mhm.
and then I had a sister that was there
Mhm.
up in the day, and then she would leave when I get there, and
Mhm.
so
She can get a rest. Mhm.
sometimes people don't have family members that can
That's right.
rotate like that,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
it caused a hardship on the
Mhm.
caretaker that's actually taking care of it.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing that we have
Mhm.
this type of facility here in Macon.
Mhm.
And some people may not. And I'm just hoping that people that are on the air,
Mhm.
that are listening, you all share this information
Mhm.
because Ms. Duncan has this availability. And, I just know that we've been in each other's stories. She's actually a member of ours also, but she's a very good nurse, and
Mhm.
so like she says, they pay attention to
Mhm.
things, and
Right.
and it,
Right.
it makes a difference when you're in a facility where you have a nurse,
Mhm.
especially RN.
Absolutely.
And that was the other question.
Mhm.
Do you
Mhm.
have other healthcare workers that work in your facility outside of yourself?
Mhm. As a matter of fact, I really don't dis I oversight. Because and I'm there a lot of the times. We have a nurse that's there with the clients during the day, and then I have CNAs and I have activity directors. So there's other staff there to
Wonderful.
and because here again, like I say, there may be someone that's incontinent, so they need to go, need assistant to the bathroom and that type stuff. So yeah, we provide those services as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I know it's a big relief. I myself have been a caregiver for a number of years until I know my wife's aunt lived with us, and then her father lived with us previously. And that's a lot of work on an individual that works.
Hmm.
It's different if you're retired and you have the
Right.
time, but
Hmm.
when you're on a work schedule and you're uh, giving care to an individual, it takes up a lot of time, a
Absolutely.
lot of time. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure they can appreciate being freed up because you don't really have a whole lot of time for yourself when you're a
Absolutely.
careger.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I see Patrick Davis. He's
Hmm.
always posting. He normally
Hmm.
posts a lot of things dealing with the law, and he looks stuff
Hmm.
up for us, and he says here, although national workforce
Hmm.
estimates points to a gradually closing gap between supply and demand of nurses, Georgia is expected to see a 21% shortage of registered nurses by 2035,
Absolutely.
the
Wow.
Hmm.
second highest estimate shortage among 10 other states.
Hmm.
And so uh,
Hmm.
we I have a sister that's a travel nurse, a
Hmm.
sister niece,
Hmm.
two nieces
So
that's a
they
travel
go.
nurse. So they, you know,
Yep.
they travel out of
Hmm.
state, and
Yep.
so, but like you say, there's a shortage of nurses
Hmm.
Right.
everywhere.
Hmm.
And I can just remember during COVID,
Hmm.
you know, I just wish it was something that our organization could have done more because those first responders, those
Hmm.
they were, you know, working nonstop,
Hmm.
Overwhelmed.
not having days off, and they were just burned out. And
Hmm.
so, uh, it's just so wonderful when you have some facility like this that's filling in the gap for.
Hmm. Yeah, and I want to say, when we were talking about nurses, the shortage, and he's so right. I read an article where there are about 7 caregivers per 100,000 people here in the state of
Wow.
Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And so it's bad. And so that's one of the things that, of course, you mentioned about us opening up back in August, because my passion has always been, well, I've been teaching, I think I've been teaching since I came out my mom's womb, teaching something.
Right.
But anyway, you can ask them. But, in August of last year, we opened up, next to my adult day, we opened up a training school. And so
Right.
we
Yeah,
we just got approved. As a matter of fact, we got our first class that already started for CNAs. And
Wow.
so these are certified nursing assistants, and the shortage is huge.
It is.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, people are calling me because they know we got the school. And do you have employees? Everybody saying the same story. So we do have a program. It is we call it a hybrid online program. And we're trying to target these people who probably work more during the week. So our program is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because we have to get those hours in. We had to do some hours on Fridays, but most employers, they'll let their people off a Friday, and most of them will let them off, anytime now, just to, so they can get them trained.
Right.
One thing that happened during COVID, they allowed a lot of people who worked in the skilled facilities and stuff like that. Actually, they called them TNAs because they was trained nursing assistants.
Right.
And so, we know this thing is coming to a closure May 12th.
Right.
And so a lot of them has to be trained and has to get their CNAs.
Certification, yeah.
Yes,
Right.
that's correct. And so, but we're open. Our next class start June 5th. I have some great teachers. I will be one of the teachers myself, but we have some great teachers that, is passionate about helping these, well, we call it training the next generation of caregivers.
Right.
And
right.
so, they come to us. Well, they do three weeks online, and then they do 2 weeks in the lab at the school, and then they do the 3 days of clinicals, and it's a 6-week program.
Right.
So we're through the American Red Cross. They're kind of a little bit pricey, but a lot of times when you go to these private schools,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but I mean, for what the need is, they can find a job. It's not like, they won't be able to find a job the minute they,
Yeah,
they
because
pass their
those
test.
types of fields, you can always find a job.
Absolutely.
In the nursing
Absolutely.
field. So,
Absolutely.
but explain. I heard you say something earlier. If you can explain it, because a lot of people. I know you said something about the facility is paid by Medicaid, and I want to make sure because some people have Medicare and Medicaid, and they don't understand that.
That is so true.
Right.
They don't understand that.
Yes.
Just like when you go into a skilled nursing
Yes,
facility, Medicaid is the one that pays, pays for you to be in a nursing home or facility, not Medicare.
That's right.
And so,
that is so true.
if you can explain that.
Sure. Yeah. So just like you said, Medicare only pays if you, need skilled rehab, and the physician has to say that. And then plus you have to have a 3-night hospital stay. And that's what a lot of times people don't understand. And so, they mom stepped there 2 days, and they try to figure out why, want to take her. And that's it, because it's the money thing. I mean, they get paid a little bit more. So with Medicaid doesn't pay. It's the waiver program.
Right.
These people have to be approved for a waiver, and the waiver that we use is called the EDWP waiver, which is the elderly and disability waiver. And so it typically takes, they have to have a functional and a physical limitation.
Right.
Functional mean they walk with a cane. They mostly in a wheelchair. They have a rollator, or they have a lot of falls.
Right.
The physical thing would be, she's a diabetic, she's on insulin, she's in the hospital a lot, because that's what that's what these waivers are targeting, people that going back and forth in the hospital. Maybe have congestive heart failure or high blood pressure, seizures, had a stroke. So those are the functional things that has to be at first. And then we send that to case management agency. They do their part. And then from there, then it goes to the state of Georgia. And Alliant decides, who get the waivers and that type stuff. And so at that point, it comes back to us or to the case management agency. And then they put it back out into the community to providers. And I'm a provider. And so, but yeah, so it's Medicaid. Miss Westbrook, you hit the nail on the head. There are so many people. I get so many calls about individuals who have Medicare and they need these services.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, they worked all their lives and they may have a good income, but they don't make enough to pay for a home health aid, around the clock. And every time someone call me, I tell them all the time, I said, you know what? I hear this every day and it hurts my heart because you're in that gray area. But these are the things that we need to be talking to our politicians about, because, you don't know it until it hits your house.
And then, you make just a,
that's right. I'm telling you.
$1.
I'm telling you.
$1, you make $1 too much.
And what can they do?
Wow.
They can, and then just even if you got $3,000 or $4,000 a month to pay somebody 24 hours a day to take care of someone, it's gone. It's gone in 2 weeks. I mean, for what that's what I'm yes, absolutely.
It used to be, it just depends on what they do for you when they're there, the price.
But yeah, just for them to sit with your sitter, you're talking $12, $13 an hour.
Yeah.
And these people,
Right.
They can't afford it. So those are the things that hurts me. Is when I hear, these people saying, what am I going to do with my mama? What am I going to do? Because if they don't have Georgia Medicaid, and I tell them, I said, that is the only one. There is talk. I was up at a Medicaid conference on Tuesday. There is talk that Medicare is looking at doing community care services.
Yeah.
So we need to be talking to these politicians and say, hey, y'all need to do this because everybody need to have a chance. Everybody need to be able to, get some rest while their mom, because I mean, it's not going to be 24 hours, but I mean, at least 5 or 6 sometimes relieves people,
And see, some of the things that I've, been looking at too, and I know we don't have a lot of time,
right?
But the Medicare Advantage was not offering a whole lot, but now with these, like for United Healthcare and different things like that, they're offering. I've seen a difference in some of the things that they're offering in 2023. So I think that we're going to get to that point where they're going to probably be offering that because it's so much needed, and they're actually paying more. Because I'm comparing.
Absolutely,
you can compare.
Absolutely.
My health insurance with some of the Medicare Advantage plans, and it's offering stuff that they didn't offer before. So like you say, that we need to be asking for our state representatives and our senators to look at and vote for these bills that when they come across in the session.
Because some states are doing it. There are some states that's the reason a lot of times people move from state to state and they're thinking, well, y'all don't have this program. And that's just like this program right here, the Structured Family Caregiver Program. It's been in other states. And in other states, rules are different. So, Georgia just adopted this program in 2019. And so a lot of people don't know about this program. They're taking care of their loved ones at home. Mama ain't going into a nursing home. Well, to be honest, it's hard to get it. I mean, nursing homes are for skilled now. It's for rehab.
Right.
And so, but now the state of Georgia did come up. I mean, it ain't the best thing, but it's better than nothing. Where they actually do, pay family members for taking care of their loved ones at home.
So is there anything else that you want to talk about that you want to?
No, that's it. If they have questions, if people have questions, or, people call me all the time, I mean, even if it's something, there's no dumb question. And, I get the questions all the time because people don't know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. But if people want to call us, my number is 478-254-7171 at our facility. And then my cell number is 478-718-7331. I mean, I'm willing to.
I'm retired now, so
absolutely.
Help out hey. I just retired from the Department of Family.
I saw that. Congratulations.
So anything I can do to help.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we definitely going to get you there to talk.
That's my pet peeve to our elderly.
Well, we definitely going to get you there to talk to our clients. Absolutely.
And one of the things too, when you look at the population of the baby boomers, you're going to have more people elderly status,
Absolutely.
In the upcoming years. And when you talk about nursing shortages and those kind of things. A lot of these nurses are in in that category.
In that category.
And so, if they don't have new nurses rotating through,
Right.
it's
Absolutely.
really going to be a crisis as far as
Oh, yeah.
taking
Yeah.
care of that
And I see
population.
Pastor Davis posted some
Mhm.
other stuff on here, so
Yeah.
he says the elder and disabled
That's
waiver
how the waiver.
program.
He's talking
Yeah,
about how the waiver is.
program.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so he always,
Yeah.
whenever we're talking about something, he always puts stuff
Oh,
on here. Whenever we
absolutely.
have things, but
Mhm.
we appreciate
Mhm.
it. But we want to
Mhm.
thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank
And if
you.
you need to come back on the show for any other
Absolutely.
reason,
Mhm.
if you have something going on and you
Yeah.
need to get it
Okay.
out there, just please let us know, and we'll make sure we get it advertised for you because we
Absolutely.
want to support you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I guess that's going to do it for our show today. We thank you for tuning in, and we certainly thank our guest, Ms. Patricia Duncan, for coming in. I guess we got about 4 or 5 more minutes. So if there's anything else,
Come on late.
we came on late today, so we've got a little bit more time than we usually would have at this moment.
Well, I just want to say a couple more things too, because to echo on the the Medicaid, applying for Medicaid for people that are in this facility, in any type of facility, and especially this type of facility, kind of maybe the same guidelines to be able to get the funding for Medicaid. But people don't realize if you're not eligible for Medicaid, you have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Because I can remember a relative, and until they could get him
That's right.
approved for Medicaid, she was having to pay out of pocket for him to be in that facility on a daily.
Absolutely.
They added up by a daily basis, and then a lot of time people, when you're in facilities and you have Medicaid, they have this Medicaid recovery state and all this stuff. So all that kind of stuff you have to look at. So
Yeah.
um,
And the state recovery, and I would definitely say if there's somebody worried about that, please talk to someone, because it's
Right.
not the way a
Right.
lot of people say it is, because people say, oh, you do this, they're going to take your stuff. Please talk to someone. Please reach
Right.
out to someone. It doesn't have to be me, but reach out to someone. I do want to say this because we were talking about, Medicaid. Certainly, folks, we know that now is coming up for reassessment for Medicaid.
Right.
I do tell everybody, if they get anything from DFACS, please answer it. There are articles after articles after articles after articles that's talking about hundreds of thousands of people right here in the state of Georgia will lose their Medicaid. And so we really need to answer those questions. Make sure you got the correct address and things as such. Please, please, please do that, because nobody wants to get cut off because your services are gone.
And they telling you to update your information. And the thing that when they first said that, the thing that worried me the most is our elderly people.
Absolutely.
That do not have access to computers.
That's right.
And they really need authorized rep, somebody to help those with those type of things. So I'm looking at trying to open up something. I'm working on something to be able to help people do that, because it's very much needed. With me working
absolutely
at the Department of
That's
Family
right.
Services, I saw that a
Mhm.
lot of our elderly people cases
Yes.
get closed because
Yes.
they're not, their
Yes,
family
ma'am.
members actually doing it
for
them.
You're so
And if
right.
they're not in place, they're not able
they
to do
lose
that.
it.
So,
Yeah.
Well, that can be another mechanism for purging.
Yeah.
That's what sometimes happens when we
yeah,
when we have
but
to.
my thing
It's like
is
a
with
reset.
the elderly, if nothing is changed, some of those cases should be automatically renewed, because the income
Absolutely.
don't change but once a year. So
Absolutely.
unless
Right.
the address change, they should be automatically
Yeah.
renewed.
Yeah. So yeah,
Exactly.
please, see if you got elderly, family members that's on it, or anybody needs some help. We can look in the database to see if your information is correct in there as well. So please reach out to someone, because we certainly don't want people to lose their services.
right.
Not at all.
And also, if you're listening right now and you have a question you may want to ask Ms. Duncan, you can give us a call at the station. But I think our time is running out, so maybe we have to do that next time. But we certainly hope you enjoyed the show today. We certainly thank Ms. Duncan, for coming in and sharing with us.
Absolutely.
And we'll probably have you back on the show at some other time.
Well, I would love to come back.
Because you've got a lot going on. So we can't cover everything.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
right.
you got a lot that's beneficial to our community.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So until next time, I'm Willie Dumas, your host, along with President Westbrooks and our special guest, Ms. Patrice Duncan. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwinnett Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.